Welcome to the fascinating world of numismatics, the study and collection of coins. Today, we turn our attention to a small but significant artifact from post-war Europe, the 1960 Franc coin from France. Though seemingly humble in appearance, this coin carries with it decades of history, symbolic weight, and economic narrative. In this episode, we'll explore the origins, design, historical context, minting details, and modern value of the 1960 Franc coin, a piece that reflects the resilience of a nation and the artistry of its mint. To understand the true significance of the 1960 Franc coin, we must first step back and examine the historical landscape of France during that time. The year was 1960. France was under the presidency of Charles de Gaulle, and the country was going through significant political and economic transformations. The scars of World War II were still healing, and the Algerian War, France's bitter struggle to retain control over Algeria, was nearing its climax. The French Republic was in flux, having just established the Fifth Republic in 1958, bringing a new constitution and a strengthened executive branch under de Gaulle's leadership. Economically, France was modernizing. The nation was rapidly industrializing, and with the new decade came a new sense of identity and purpose. It was against this backdrop that France introduced the nouveau franc, or new franc, in 1960, a major monetary reform aimed at combating post-war inflation and simplifying transactions. The 1961 franc coin marks a turning point in French monetary history. Prior to 1960, the French franc had significantly devalued due to decades of inflation. Prices were confusingly high. A loaf of bread could cost hundreds of old francs. To remedy this, France revalued its currency by introducing the nouveau franc, equivalent to 100 old francs. This revaluation wasn't just economic, it was symbolic, a fresh start for a rebounding nation. The 1960 first franc coin was one of the first denominations minted in this new system. It was more than just currency. It was a promise of stability and confidence in France's economic future. Let's examine the coin itself. Denomination, Monnaie. Franc year of issue, 1960. Material, nickel. Diameter, 24 mm. Weight, 6 grams. Edge, smooth Paris mint, Monnaie de Paris. On the obverse of the coin, we find the profile of Marianne, the national personification of the French Republic. Designed by Oscar Roty, this elegant rendering of Marianne is timeless. Wearing the Phrygian cap, a symbol of liberty dating back to the Roman era, Marianne gazes calmly into the distance, a representation of the French ideals, liberté, égalité, fraternité. The inscription reads, République Française, the French Republic. On the reverse, the coin bears a stylized image of an olive branch, symbolizing peace, growth, and prosperity. It's a simple but powerful motif. Above the branch is the denomination, 1 franc, and below it, the year of minting, 1960. The design reflects a clean, modern aesthetic, a departure from more intricate pre-war coins, aligning with the streamlined, functional design ethos of the 1960s. The 1 franc coin of 1960 was minted at the Paris Mint, one of the oldest mints in the world, with a history dating back over 1,150 years. This particular coin was produced in large quantities, over 159 million pieces, making it widely circulated and familiar to the French population throughout the 1960s and beyond. The sheer volume of these coins reflects the need for accessible, reliable currency during a time of economic reorganization. Interestingly, even after the initial conversion to the nouveau franc, the term new franc was used on banknotes but not explicitly on coins. By 1960, the transition had begun to settle, and coins like the 1 franc piece helped anchor this new value system in everyday life. More than just a monetary instrument, the 1960 1 franc coin served as a symbol of French resilience and Republican values. Marianne's prominent presence on the obverse wasn't just artistic, it was political. She represented the enduring spirit of France, especially important in a time when national identity was under strain. The Phrygian cap on her head has long symbolized freedom and revolution. It's a nod to the French Revolution of 1789, a reminder that liberty is foundational to French culture and governance. The olive branch, on the other hand, symbolizes peace, a subtle nod to France's role on the world stage, including its post-war recovery and its growing influence within the European Economic Community, the precursor to the European Union. Together, these symbols presented a unified message. France is strong, stable, and peaceful. Now let's address the question many collectors and enthusiasts ask. What is the value of the 1960 1 franc coin today? Because over 159 million coins were minted, the 1960 1 franc coin is not considered rare. It is widely available on the collector's market. However, its value can vary depending on condition. Circulated condition, between 0.10 to 1.00 used, uncirculated, mint state, may range from $2 to $10 USD proof or exceptionally struck examples, could fetch higher prices, especially from reputable dealers or in certified slabs. It is important to note that the coin's historic and symbolic value often outweighs its monetary worth. Collectors prize this coin not because it is rare or valuable, but because it represents an important period in French and European history. For those interested in collecting the 1960 1 franc coin, here are a few tips. Condition matters. Look for coins with minimal wear, visible details, and no corrosion or discoloration. Storage. Keep coins in a cool, dry place. Use acid-free holders or plastic capsules to prevent damage. Authentication. If you're buying higher-grade versions, look for coins graded by reputable services like PCGS or NGC. Historical context. Include documentation or contextual notes in your collection. A coin like this is best appreciated when understood in its full historical scope. Many collectors enjoy building complete sets of the new Franc series, from 1960 to the Euro transition in 2002, which makes the 1960 coin an essential starting point. The 1960 1 franc coin remained in circulation for decades, but its journey ultimately ended with the arrival of the Euro in 2002. After over 40 years of faithful service, it was officially withdrawn from use. The transition to the Euro marked another chapter in European history, a symbol of unity and cooperation among nations. Yet for many, the old franc coins, particularly the early issues like the one from 1960, remain nostalgic and culturally significant. The 1960 1 franc coin is more than metal, it's memory. It tells the story of a country redefining itself after war and instability. It reflects economic reform, national pride, and artistic heritage. And for collectors, it offers a tangible link to a pivotal moment in France's journey through the 20th century. It is the year 1960. In the bustling streets of Paris, the scent of fresh baguettes fills the air, cafes hum with conversation, and vendors line the avenues. But on this day, something is different. A new coin jingles in the pockets of the people. This is the story of the 1960 1 franc coin, a small round piece of metal that carried the weight of economic reform, cultural symbolism, and national identity. It marked not only a change in currency, but the rebirth of a nation after decades of turmoil and transformation. Over the next hour, we'll explore the rich and intricate world of this coin, its origins, design, purpose, and legacy. Welcome to a journey through time, economy, and culture, through the lens of one of France's most historically significant coins. To understand the full importance of the 1960 1 franc coin, we must first turn the clock back to the first half of the 20th century. France, like much of Europe, emerged from World War II in a state of devastation. The war had drained the country's resources, demolished infrastructure, and deeply scarred its national psyche. In the aftermath, the Fourth Republic was established in 1946, but it struggled with instability, economic difficulties, and political paralysis. Inflation plagued the post-war economy. Prices soared, the value of money plummeted, and ordinary citizens found themselves carrying large sums of money just to buy basic goods. The franc, once a respected currency, had become inflated almost beyond recognition. By the late 1950s, France faced another challenge: the Algerian War of Independence. This colonial conflict strained both the economy and national unity. It was in this context of crisis that Charles de Gaulle returned to power in 1958, establishing the Fifth Republic with a new constitution and a strong executive branch. Major part of de Gaulle's plan to restore confidence in the nation was economic stabilization, and at the heart of that plan was monetary reform. On January 1, 1960, France officially introduced a new currency system, the nouveau franc, or new franc. This was more than a technical adjustment. It was a symbolic cleansing of the economic wounds of the past. The conversion was simple in principle. One new franc, FF1, was equal to 100 old francs, FF100. But psychologically, it represented a break from the instability of previous decades. A new era had begun, leaner, clearer, more confident. As part of this reform, new coinage had to be designed, minted, and circulated quickly. The new 1 franc coin would become one of the most recognizable denominations of the period, and 1960 marked its very first issue under the new valuation. This wasn't just a change in accounting, it was a cultural event. Every French citizen had to adapt to the new currency. Newspapers explained the changes, banks provided conversion charts, and the government rolled out an educational campaign to help people understand the new monetary language. The 1960 1 franc coin is modest in size yet elegant in design. It was made of nickel, giving it a silvery appearance and durability suitable for everyday use. Let's examine its physical features. Diameter, 24 millimeters, weight, 6 grams, edge, smooth. Metal, 100%. Nickel, mint, Monnaie de Paris, the Paris. Mint obverse, Marianne, the spirit of France. On the obverse side of the coin, we see a graceful image of Marianne, the allegorical figure of the French Republic. Her profile faces right, her long hair flowing behind her adorned with a Phrygian cap, a symbol of liberty. Marianne has represented the French Republic since the Revolution of 1789. She is not just a woman, she is liberty, equality, and fraternity personified. Her depiction on the 1 franc coin affirms the nation's commitment to these ideals, even amidst economic reform. The inscription around her reads, République Française, the French Republic. The artist responsible for this image was Oscar Roty, whose work became iconic through its use on French coins and stamps. Reverse, the olive branch. The reverse side features a simple yet elegant olive branch, curving diagonally across the coin's surface. The olive branch, used since ancient times, is a universal symbol of peace, hope, and renewal. For France, in 1960, the symbolism was poignant. Above the branch, the denomination, Franc. Below it, the year, 1960. Along the edge of Y. The reverse are the words, liberté, égalité, fraternité. Liberty, equality, fraternity, the national motto of France. It is a masterful combination of national symbolism and functional design, beautiful yet practical. From its first appearance, the first franc coin became a daily presence in French life. It was used to buy coffee, bread, and newspapers. Children saved it in piggy banks, merchants counted it in tills, tourists exchanged it at banks. In 1960 alone, over 159 million 1 franc coins were minted, a testament to its utility and popularity. It was not a collector's item at the time. It was a working coin, trusted by millions. Yet despite its ubiquity, it never lost its dignity. The coin served as a quiet reminder of national identity and recovery, touched by the hands of rich and poor alike. The Franc coin was struck at the Monnaie de Paris, one of the oldest institutions in France, founded in the year 864 AD under King Charles the Bald. Located on the left bank of the Seine, the Paris Mint has produced coins for over 1,100 years. Its mission has always been more than monetary. It has served as a cultural institution, a guardian of art, tradition, and craft. The quality and consistency of the 1960 coinage reflect the mint's reputation. Each piece was carefully designed, minted, and tested. Although the coin was made in high volumes, it maintained a clean and precise appearance that honored the long tradition of French numismatic excellence. Collectors today may ask, is the 1960 1 franc coin rare or valuable? In general, the coin is not rare. Because so many were minted, it is common in collections, especially in circulated condition. However, some variations and conditions do affect value. Estimated values. Circulated condition, 0.10, $1 uncirculated. Mint state, $2, $10 high-grade certified examples, MS65 plus, $15, $30. For collectors, what makes this coin desirable is not scarcity, but historical context. It is often included in sets of early Nouveau Franc coins, or in larger collections illustrating the transformation of French currency through the 20th century. The release of the 1960 1 franc coin was part of a broader economic strategy. The goal was to restore credibility to the French monetary system and make the currency easier to use domestically and internationally. The conversion to the new franc gave businesses more confidence. It simplified accounting and trade. It also reassured foreign investors that France was serious about fiscal stability. Politically, the new currency and the accompanying coinage helped reinforce the strength of the Fifth Republic. President de Gaulle used economic reform to assert a new French identity, modern, sovereign, and forward-looking. And it worked. The 1960s would go on to become a decade of growth and modernization in France, known as part of the Trente Glorieuses, the glorious 30 years of post-war economic prosperity. For the French public, the franc coin was more than a token of exchange. It became a familiar part of life, a unit of value understood by all, from Paris to Provence. Its symbols, Marianne and the olive branch, were widely recognized and cherished. Even the feel of the coin, with its smooth edge and firm weight, became part of everyday tactile memory. Many who lived through the 1960s remember their first experiences using the new franc, and the first franc coin often evokes a sense of nostalgia for childhood, for simpler times, for the France of de Gaulle and the post-war rebirth. The first franc coin remained in circulation until the arrival of the euro in 2002, when France, along with 11 other European countries, adopted a common currency. After more than 4 decades of use, the 1 franc coin was withdrawn, its job complete, its legacy secure. But it did not disappear entirely. Many coins were saved by collectors and citizens alike. Some were melted down, others preserved in museums or passed on through families. Even today, the 1960 1 franc coin stands as a testament to a pivotal moment in French history, when a country reclaimed its confidence, stabilized its economy, and recommitted to its republican ideals. It is easy to underestimate a coin. It is small, silent, and often overlooked. But sometimes, in its metal face, lies a story of great transformation. The 1961 Franc coin was such a coin. It was born in a time of uncertainty and helped shape a future of hope. It carried the symbols of peace, liberty, and equality. It represented a republic reborn and a people reoriented toward the future. Though its face value may be just 1 franc and now obsolete, its historical value remains immeasurable. Goodbye, guys.